Good morning, positive parenting community. How are you all this morning? I'll just give it a few minutes before I start. See who jumps on. Let me get my kettle. Take you with me. If you're logging on and you're watching, say hi. Let me know you're here. See 2 people watching, say hi. Let me know how you are this morning. It's Monday morning, the sun is shining. It is beautiful. So I'm just making myself a cup of coffee because I was supposed to be awake from 7 and I was just so exhausted this morning. I literally, like, usually when my alarm goes off, I get up straight away and I couldn't. I was just so tired. So I just listened to my body and I just said no, I'm sleeping. Because I usually wake up around 6:45 naturally, but this morning, no, it's a different story. So got up a bit later than expected, but it's fine. I could say that I'm behind schedule a little bit, but my schedule can adapt, so it's all good. Got a cup of coffee, and I will be raring to go very, very soon. So again, if you're watching, say hi, let me know you're there. If you watch this on replay, let me know that you've watched it. Just comment in the post, #replay, and let me know if you find this post useful for you, okay? So I thought I'd just jump on because it's a Monday morning and a lot of us are kind of overwhelmed with the whole homeschooling kind of thing and what we're going to be doing with the kids, and it's bringing up a lot of anxiety for a lot of parents and for the kids as well. So I thought I'd just kind of give some top tips to help anyone that's struggling with the whole concept of this whole change. I know a lot of the time the emphasis and the focus is on the children and everything, but I think it's really important that we as parents get some support as well, which is obviously the work that I do, to take care of our own energy and our own stress levels and anxiety as well. So I just wanted to come on to give some top tips as to how you can reduce stress and anxiety for both you and your child, and also maintain a happy, connected relationship during stressful times. So these tips can apply for any time that may feel uncertain or stressful, not just because of the current situation. So yeah, let's get into it. So tip number 1 that I would say is always, for every parent that I speak to, is get your stress levels aligned first. So what that simply means is deal with your stuff first. If you know you're feeling really stressed, self-care and focusing on your own stress levels first is the key. You know, you want to be able to be in a state of relaxation as often as you can, even though sometimes it feels near impossible, right? But you want to be in a place of a relaxed state in terms of your stress levels so that you can transition into a responsive state, all right? You don't want to be in a reactive state, especially at times like this, because that's where you get a lot of conflict, a lot of fighting, a lot of, you know, wanting to take your hair out and bulk buying wine. You know, you don't want to be in a reactive state, and it doesn't make you feel good either to be in a reactive state. It actually makes you feel a lot worse when you know you've shouted or screamed when you didn't have to. So I would always say that number 1 tip is to get your stress levels right first. How do you do that? Which is basically see to your own needs first, okay? If you need to have 5 to 10 minutes locked in your room, or 5 to 10 minutes in a hot bath, or just anything that relaxes you and calms you, do it. Don't care about what the kids say or what anyone else's opinion is. Just do it because it's needed, okay? that in turn will make you feel like you're pouring inwards instead of consistently pouring outwards, which during stressful times we tend to pour outward more than we do pour inward. So kind of what I always recommend with my clients is getting in at least a sufficient amount of time every day if you can. Remember to comment and say hi if you're watching, to just form a habit for yourself and get into a routine of creating those moments for yourself so that you can start to feel like you are in a regular state of response as opposed to react. For anyone watching, do you have any questions around that? I think that's pretty simple, and I wouldn't actually recommend or prescribe a certain thing for anybody. Like for me, if you said to me, go and have a hot bath every day and relax, that to me would not be pleasurable. You have to make sure that what you're doing feels relaxing and pleasurable to you. Okay, so it's all very unique and it's all very personalized for what you feel good with. Okay. The second thing I would say, especially at times like this, especially with the whole homeschooling stuff going on, is to organize and schedule time in your diary for it. So a lot of the schools are saying like you have to be doing 5 hours of work every day like they would be at school. And actually I call BS on that, because I think, yeah, that's applicable if you have 30 children in the classroom. You need that amount of time, but not if you have one child at home or two or three kids at home. You don't necessarily need that chunk of time there. And also feel free to break it up. Give them breaks throughout the day, put that in your schedule as well. As long as in your diary you can see that you're creating time for your child with their homeschooling, you're creating time for your business if you're working from home or you're self-employed or whatever, and you're also creating time for yourself, you will feel like there's somewhat of a balance going on for you every day. I always say to plan ahead. So for me, I plan my diary on the Sunday or the night before, and I always have it open on my desk or somewhere that I'm regularly sitting or going to be around, so I can consistently see where I'm going to be at what time of the day, who needs attention and when. Does that make sense? Because when we're just winging it, although it may be all fun and laughs at the beginning, when you reach by the end of the first week or the second week and you're kind of like, oh, I'm all over the place, I feel overwhelmed, stress levels are rising again, it doesn't feel good. And this is where I go back to the beginning again about being aware of your own stress levels. What triggers your stress levels? If being disorganized triggers it, organize yourself, right? Schedule things in, get a calendar, get something visual that you can see, put it in the kitchen, put it by your desk area. Just make sure you schedule that time in for every area of your life, because you will feel better. Doesn't necessarily mean you're going to tick everything off. I'm a to-do list queen. I have my to-do list every day because I know if I don't have those things, I'm going to get stressed out. I'm going to start wandering around the house, scratching my head thinking, what is it I have to do? That's just me. So I make sure I have a to-do list every morning. Do I tick off everything on my to-do list? Hell no, I don't, because sometimes I don't. That's just it. And what I don't do is I don't beat myself up for it either. Okay, so whatever I know I don't get done, I know can get done on another day. So it's no big deal. I'm not putting tons of pressure on myself, and I'm certainly not beating myself up for not accomplishing everything that I was supposed to have done. However, if you do schedule time out in your diary, it's a lot easier for you to know where you need to focus your attention, what kind of attention, and what you need to do, and what you potentially need to prepare for. Okay, so after this live, I scheduled this live in this morning as well. After this live, I'm going to go and do some work with my 8-year-old. Okay, are we going to do 5 block hours? No, we're not. We're really not. We're going to have breaks in between. We're going to just have it flowing. So for those of you that don't know, I did homeschool for a few years with my eldest before. So this is, for me, this is nothing. But I know for a lot of you, this is totally brand new. You're working from home. And it's the idea of it's really highly stressful. So if anyone has any questions as well, please feel free to PM me or comment and I will answer them and help you out as much as I can, okay? But yeah, that would be the second thing. It would definitely be to organize and schedule your time. I mean, we're all indoors now, you know, it should be a little bit easier to schedule stuff because we're not going out anywhere or doing things. So I would definitely recommend that for you, okay? The third thing I would recommend in terms of lessening anxiety between you and your child is to just remember they are a small person, number one, okay? But also to remember that sometimes we have to step in their shoes too. I would say be very careful and mindful about what you're consuming as the parent, such as the media and Facebook feeds and things like that, that may be triggering a lot of stress within yourself. And then be very mindful of what you tell your child. So it's good to give them an understanding of what's happening, but we have to be mindful that we're not creating panic. And again, it goes back to knowing your child as well. Some children will just be like, okay, whatever, you know, I'm happy to be home, I don't care. And other children will go into a state of panic and be very scared and frightened, and it will raise their anxiety. Okay, so remembering that they are a small person just like us, they've got feelings and emotions, but just being mindful of what you tell them and how you explain things to them will help as well, because you want to keep them as safe and as comfortable as possible. They're relying on us to provide that stability and that security and safety that at the minute the world is not providing. Okay, so I would definitely say to just be mindful of your words and your behavior. Remember, children are feelers, so even if we don't say anything, they can pick up on how our energy feels. They can pick up if mum and dad's stressed. They can pick up if there's a bit of a prickly energy going on, and that can throw off their whole energy as well. Okay, so again, it goes back to point one, which is making sure that your energy levels and your stress levels are in a high place, because and a good feeling place, because your child is always going to pick up on it. All right. The fourth tip I would get is to give yourself permission to feel free to step into their world. So if you know we've all got extra time, this is a golden opportunity for you to step into your child's world and play, and for you to release your inner child as well. Like we're so used to being the grown-ups and, you know, kind of being a certain way and going to work and everything so serious. Now is a golden opportunity for us to be able to connect in with our inner child, for us to play with our children, spend more time with them, get to know them, and have some fun, right? So, you know, yesterday I was playing Play-Doh with my girls. I was just chilling out, playing Play-Doh. We had a movie night. We had, you know, chit-chat and fun. And it felt good. It felt really, really good to be able to get to know my girls on a deeper level, get to observe them, get to engage with them, and just allow myself some freedom to play as well. Like, when is the last time any of us played with Play-Doh or played a game, or didn't have to worry about, oh, we've got to iron the school clothes, or the responsibility of adulthood? You know, it's okay to give ourselves permission to play and to connect now. You know, this is the time to do it. You know, a lot of us, we haven't been doing this because we've got work to do, or we've got to do laundry, we've got to do stuff around the house, we've got to do this, we've got to do that. And now we've got this time where we need to kind of just go inwards and retreat, and we can play, you know. So I would definitely say step into their world. And remember, children learn best when they play. They feel connected to you, they step into their own emotions, they're able to understand their own selves more when you play with them as well, and they feel like, you know, it's an enjoyable experience with you that maybe they weren't able to have with you or with any of us when we're busy working all the time, right? So step number five, which is connected in with step number 4, would definitely be to really connect with your child. If you're finding that connecting with your child is triggering you in any way, or that you're finding it difficult, then give me a shout and I will help you with that. I am also running the 4-week parenting support course in April. That will cover topics such as being triggered, reactivity, that kind of resistance that, you know, a lot of parents don't want to speak about it, but I'm going to speak about it. Sometimes with some of us, there is a resistance to actually connecting with our child and playing with our child. And it's actually not about the child themselves. It's actually about us and our own stuff that's coming up. So if anyone has any issues with that, please feel free to private message me, and we can talk about that. But it's a good place as well to kind of be able to connect with your child. No phone, no distraction. Understand your child's love languages as well. Like, how do they receive love from you? What makes them feel good? And again, creating that connection. There's no point playing with your child if you're constantly on your phone or you're on the laptop. You know, your child will look and just think, what's the point? And to be fair, if we were talking to a friend, or if we were talking to our partners, and they were constantly on the phone or on the laptop or whatever, we would think the same too, right? So if you're going to connect, make sure you're connecting with your whole self. Turn the phone off. Put the laptop away. Eyes, ears, focus, brain, heart, soul on your child and in that moment. And I promise you that will create more connection, and it will reduce anxiety for your child, and it will also give them a sense of safety and security with you as well. Okay, so that was just a quick run through of the top tips that I would have for moments like this to reduce stress. If you found any of this useful, please let me know in the comments. If you have any questions, please put it in the comments as well. And I will be wishing you all lots of love and luck. No, you don't need it really. But yeah, just go with the flow. Take any excess pressure off yourselves. Enjoy your children right now. Enjoy learning with them. I'll tell you now, you can learn so much from your child. You don't think it, but you can. And just enjoy your time with them now, because they grow up so quickly, and you know, before you know it, you'll be looking back and thinking, where did the years go? I know I certainly do. You know, I've got a 12-year-old and an 8-year-old. It just flies really, really quickly. So now I just think the time we've been given is, and I know many may disagree with me, but the time we've been given is a gift. And it's just a beautiful thing. Well, that's my perspective anyway. I mean, I think we can focus on the negatives, or we can choose to focus on the positives, right? So for me, it's a beautiful thing to be able to sit with your child, connect with your child, and grow with your child as well, you know? So on that note, I shall leave you to enjoy your morning and the rest of your day. Any questions, any concerns you have, anything you want to discuss privately, just message me. I will be happy to help, and I will speak to you all very, very soon. Bye.